Hey, welcome back to the Gemini channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Gemini. Know that energy is fluid. Interpret the message as it best resonates. Also know that on this channel, I like to go deep within my readings. I do look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes. So the readings are a little bit longer because we do the extra steps, and the extra steps are: why are you attracting this person into your life? What do you need to learn to integrate any spiritual lessons and to actually transmute that negative energy that we get from the triggers that happen in our soul relationships, whether it's a twin flame, whether that's a past life karmic, whether it's any type of soul connection. Soul connections are divine connections. It's the way that the universe teaches us, brings us people and situations and experiences to change us, to make us change, to heal our heart and our mind. However, a lot of times we're unaware of that we're living out of alignment with our true self. The true self is the higher self, and it's the energy of unconditional love. So, any place where you detach from yourself, that you reject, you form a shadow. And as a result, you wear a mask. And that's the mask of what you want other people to perceive. That's not the true self. Now, when we're not coming from our true self and we're coming from the mask, we never get good results because the universe conspires to what you truly feel. So if you're wearing a mask, it's because there's a part of you that doesn't like who you are or has rejected part of yourself. So the universe responds to the whole, you reject yourself, not the persona or the mask. So in order to break a karmic loop, we have to change. We have to integrate the spiritual lesson, and that's again through changing, through integrating a new core belief, a new behaviorism that goes with that core belief. That's the act of transmutation. When you turn negative energy into positive energy, because you can't get rid of negative energy. So any place that you have a shadow, you can't just say, well, I've gotten rid of the negative energy, I've healed. You have to do something always with that energy. An example is the the man from America's Most Wanted that had their child kidnapped, and the kid that was beheaded. He was kidnapped and he was beheaded, and he the I forget the man's name, but he's the main speaker of America's Most Wanted. He is the narrator of that show, and he produced the show, and he came up with the idea for this show because of what happened to his son. Couldn't do anything with the negative energy. He couldn't get out of bed. He was so depressed. And that is what um, situations that create pain and suffering, um, if we transmute that negative energy that comes from our pain, we're able to again move mountains. We're able to make real change. And so a lot of times that's our contribution to humanity. That's how we give and receive of love, right? Through our free will. When we, again, are doing things from the heart, right? Because we're down here in physical form to be expressions of unconditional love. However, like I said, we're all born into societies and families and date people that have blocks that trigger us, that make us form behaviorisms that are in alignment with what's going on. So when we get out of those situations, we're not aware. We're just living the way that we live. However, we have formed behaviorisms that helped us in one experience. However, they're going to be a hindrance in the next experience. And we're unconscious to what they are, because we unconsciously perceive that these behaviorisms that we've created are built for for our survival, for our best good, for our highest good. So the reptilian mind will not just let go of a negative core belief either. So healing is not just, well, I've just changed it. There really is a process to healing. And so within each story that I do, again, each story that unfolds within the cards, we see what the spiritual blocks are. We see what the person does. We see why they do it. We see why you attract that person, and we see what for. Because when you integrate the spiritual lesson, if you are with a karmic, like a past life karmic that is a fake twin flame, well, you're going to see that for what it is, because you'll see all the behaviorisms. And when you see, a lot of times that's actually what breaks that cord. A lot of times people say, I know that this person's bad, but I still feel attached to them. I still feel like I still have feelings for them. And I don't want to have feelings for them anymore. I feel like I'm stuck. So it's a way, like I said, once you are able to integrate the spiritual lesson, you change your energy. You are no longer on the same vibration. And in that, your perception of that person changes. And you don't have that, it doesn't have that hold on you anymore. So it's about learning that every situation that you live is here to teach you, to grow you, to mold you. But the ones that we mainly learn from are those soul connections. All right, now if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out, and it is the underlining energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. Okay, let's see what that energy actually is. Neglect and self-neglect. Well, I feel like someone's in a major depression. And they're in a major depression because they neglected you. And because they neglected you, now they're actually neglecting themselves. And I feel like their little plan backfired on them. It's almost like any time that this person could have fixed this connection, could have did anything, they purposely held back. They purposely didn't give you. And the thing is, I feel like they're in a completely different place. So this person, for some of you, I feel like you were in a connection with somebody that either chose somebody else and now they're in regret because they completely neglected the connection with you, or they just held back because they weren't ready. Either way, they're in a place where they're like, I know that you don't want to be with me anymore. I feel like this person pretends like they're okay, but they're not. So this is the underlining energy. And I feel like they're also marinating on like what to do. So almost like they don't know what to do. I feel like this person's never been put in a position that they would actually even want to come back and apologize to someone. It's almost like, how would I do this? It's like their first way is, what lie can I tell? That's the energy there. And it's like they're like, I know that I can't lie. I feel like they know that you're very intuitive. They just know that you catch them in the lie. So they're also sensing like how I come back has to be correct, has to be really correct. And there's a sense like this person doesn't really believe that they can do it. Again, they're afraid that you're going to confront them, over again, them being self-righteous. Again, I feel like that's what the energy that you dealt with. It's again that this person didn't want to let you in. They didn't want to give you anything. They acted like I said, they were in a high point within their life. They wanted you to chase them. I feel like they've avoided you because they didn't want to deal with you confronting them over their behavior. They felt like, well, you're going to say something that I already know that what I didn't do. So I'm going to purposely like ghost you. I'm going to hold back from you. And then I'll come back after a certain amount of time. And if you're smart, you won't say anything. So this person was kind of trying to train you like what many narcissists do. It's like, I'm going to stonewall you if you question me. If you if you if you question my behavior, then you anger me, and then I'm going to punish you. So you're going to learn not to question me, not to confront me. And that's again how they were kind of self-righteous. Like they acted like they didn't give a shit. And they, it's almost like this person's angry and they wanted to make you angry. It's like almost like this person wanted to trigger you all the time by making you feel like you weren't enough because they didn't give enough. This is like a real like colossal asshole energy, like a person that just knows exactly what they do, is a smug, is cocky, is self-righteous, that, but is completely angry. It's like all that is covering rage, resentment. I feel like they've been in relationships, bad relationships. I feel like this person gets in their own way over everything. So they can build something, but then they always lose it. Whenever they wind up putting their energy into it, winds up turning to shit all the time, whether that's relationships, or whether that's a business, whatever it is. It always starts off good, but then this person gets in their own way. I feel like they keep reliving the same karmic theme of shame. Yeah, because of their masks. It's like you got tired of the mask that they wore. It's like because it's again, they compartmentalize. It's like this person's so fragmented that they compartmentalize, and when you compartmentalize, you got to wear a mask. It's again, to not let you really see who they are. Like I said, the self-righteousness and the anger are all like kind of codings to what's really buried. And what's really buried is shame. Someone that feels that they're defective, someone that doesn't like who they are, and it's because they keep sabotaging themselves. It's like their life seems to do well, and then it doesn't do well. And then they have to build themselves back up. And then they get to a certain place, and then they get in their own way and they sabotage themselves again. And where it's again, the memory is almost like, again, that they've done it before, that it's again, I feel like relationships are a trigger for this person. Like you'll meet this person, and like I said, they'll be in a highlight in their life. And then what happens is that they get into a relationship and it's all about the drama. It's all about their way or the highway, and about, wearing different masks. So I'm sure like out in the community, they act as one person, but then behind closed doors, they act like something else. And also, you know, person creates masks when they lie a lot. So I feel like this person was always lying to you, always not always again making themselves seem more important, making themselves seem as if they were so desirable that you got like so tired of the bullshit. You got tired of of their, first of all, their attitude, them breadcrumbing, them not letting you ask anything. again, if you have a complaint, if you have like again, just narcissistic energy. But so what happened is like you were like, I don't really believe that you're almighty. You want me to perceive that you're the almighty, but you're not. And you called their bluff because you were like, I'm tired of the different masks that you wear. You don't really let me in because you're wearing a mask. This person's not emotionally intelligent. They will refuse to even tap into themselves because, again, like I said, the self-righteousness, the anger, these are outward emotions that are buried, that are covering the buried emotion of shame. So, like I said, I feel like any time that you're going to call this person out on anything, they're going to feel inadequate. They're going to see it as an attack. They're going to hear everything through the wound and not really what you're saying. And then all you know is that you're in connection with someone that they like to make you angry. They like to make you feel bad. They like to make you feel like you're not enough. Like I said, I feel like they're angry. So it's their way of doing it. Like again, like you feel like this person's disturbed, and there's also a sense of you've been in bad relationships already before. This isn't your first bad relationship. So you're like, I've suffered enough mental and emotional abuse from other relationships, and also with you. You bring on a whole other layer all in itself because of, again, the lies. Your masks are to cover your lies. And then I question you about things and you act self-righteous or you avoid me. So it's again to be in a connection with this person, it's next to impossible. It's again, so again, like I said, what they do is they stonewall you, which is that they just ignore you, like you don't mean anything to them. And it's a way that I feel like they try to keep you on the leash. And it's like, I don't understand why people don't give anything or like to people. I really don't. Like it seems like such a lot of energy to gaslight, but it's they assumed, well, I'm gonna gaslight you because I don't really want to give anything. I don't feel like I should have to give it anything. And I feel like you're gonna assume anyway that we are together. If I'm nice to you, they assume that you were gonna act a certain way. You didn't, like I said, you called their bluff. And so, and the truth of the matter is, it's like they couldn't give you anything because when you met this person, they purposely breadcrumbed you, they purposely gaslighted you because their heart is with another. They're actually in a karmic contract with somebody else. And that's what I'm saying. This person is angry, and they're angry because somebody else owns their life. They don't really want to be in that karmic contract, like I said, but they are very codependent, and they're codependent because every time they make their life work, they wind up sabotaging their life. And I feel like the karmic that they've been with always digs them out, is the fixer of the connection. So when this person met you, they of course didn't want to hear anything. Of course, again, you felt their anger. They don't like their life, and somebody else owns their life to make their life look somewhat normal. So, like I said, that's the mask. That's the mask. That's why they gaslit you, and that's why you felt ignored because there was someone there the whole time. Now that doesn't mean that they want to be with that person. They wear a mask, meaning like to the outside world, I feel like that karmic pretends that like it's a real like connection. Your person doesn't act like it's a real connection. However, they act as if they're single, but they don't give anyone anything. So their loyalty is actually to that karmic because they won't let the connection get any deeper. That's why they assumed that you were just going to go with them. That's why they assumed that, you weren't going to like ask, or that you were just going to go along with it. And so this person likes what you're doing. They feel like, meaning work wise, I feel like you get a lot of attention. And the reason why I'm saying this is like part of their connection, they don't want to be with the karmic. They don't like the karmic. The karmic is boring. It's like the karmic fixes their life, but the karmic's like a dish towel. They don't have an identity. They stay connected to somebody that doesn't even have a will to fix their own life. But I feel like you're doing something. And the reason why I say that is because this person sees what you're doing and says, I always felt I had a higher calling in life. And they feel like their connection with you brings them more clarity, meaning I feel like they want to be associated with what you do. They want to be, it's not just you that they like who you are or what you do, and they want to be associated with that because they don't like their life. Like I said, this person's angry. They're connected to a karmic, and they know that they have to live out that whatever it is. That karmic has a lot of power over them. So it's like they're going along with that. But I feel like on the side, they go out and they flirt and they meet people and they do to you what they do to everybody, which is they pretend that they want to be in a relationship. They breadcrumb, they gaslight, they make the person, they assume that the people are going to like be with them because they're going to, assume that they're single, that they want a connection, when really they don't want a connection because they're already in a connection. What they want is passion. What they want is fun. What they want to feel is important. What is leading this show is their ego because they don't like who they are. So, like I said, they're like, I like what you're doing, and they feel like that whatever you're doing that they should be a part of that and that's now that could be a job, it could be a hobby, it could be that you just do something within your that you're getting attention. I don't know, whatever it is that you're getting attention and people look up to you. People like what you're doing. This person wants people to like them, but they don't do anything to be likable, it sounds like. They're living with one person and kind of living off of them, and but they don't have an identity of their own. They have to live a double life in order to feel whole. It's like, again, they're fragmented because they're either one being the relationship to this person's going to fix my life, but I'm not attracted to them. I'll be with this person and I'll get my jollies off, and I'm going to be with this person because this person's going to do something else. And I'm going to wear masks for everyone, and I'm going to pretend that I'm whoever I need to be. Like they're a chameleon. It's like they never formed their own sense of self. It's almost like chameleons are people that have learned to mold their environment for their survival. And so, if you're so busy molding to the environment or molding to the connection that you're in so that you're liked, you're not creating yourself. And it also means that you're paying more attention to being liked than you are to being respected. And then you're not getting the results that you want because you, again, are focusing on the wrong thing, but then also to justify why you have the behaviorisms of breadcrumbing everyone and staying in a compartmentalized relationship is not believing that relationships can work out, but you're the person that makes that so. But I believe that this person also like has like avoidant behaviors. So, there's someone that came on very strong. They love bombed you. They, they love being in love, but as soon as the relationship becomes like consistent, they get bored. They don't like it. And then what happens is that they don't have conversation about it. They don't do anything. They ghost. They stonewall. And then when you're over it, they come back. I feel like this person was in and out of your life a lot, but never took the connection seriously, didn't take you seriously. I feel like they're taking you seriously now because you made shit happen in your life. They're like, whatever is going on in your life, they actually see it as like with them being like with you makes them would make them look better, would give them an identity that they like. And that's the problem with people that are chameleons. They will try to mold to anyone's environment, but the thing is, it's not authentic. So when we're not led by our higher self, then we're of course going to get bored. And then what that's gonna look like is that this person doesn't know how to value anything. Get bored, then they dispose of it. So first problem, the first time you have to confront them, again, they're gonna avoid you. They're gonna gaslight you. They're gonna project. They're gonna do all these things to create distance. And it's all because they already have somebody at home. And so you may say, well, how do they deal with it? Again, I feel like this person also has substance problems. And it's because, again, they live compartmentalized. No one can suppress their feelings and their emotions forever. It's escapism. They don't like who they are. So until they actually heal the shame, the abandonment issues, and again, and learn how to not avoid, then they can work on the addiction problems. But the addiction problems come because they feel powerless. They don't like who they are. So again, they continually stonewall, which is, I'm not going to talk to you about anything. I'm not going to have a conversation. It's a way of avoidance. So it, like I said, until they heal those things, which, as we can see, it's like an onion. There's many layers here. That's why this person, like I said, is fragmented and they feel powerless. And in that, of course, they're going to make you feel ignored because they can't give you what you need. I feel like when they're in a connection, they may be there, but they're not emotionally there. Well, it's like that's a sign of intimacy issues. And I feel like this person has avoidance issues, and there's nothing more that ruins the whole intimacy of trust than people that don't know how to communicate, people that manipulate to get what they want. There's a sense that you don't trust this person. Now, I feel as if they, just because they do all this doesn't mean that they don't have feelings, but it doesn't mean that you would want to be in a connection with this person. I look and see how what this person's going to do and how they feel. But what you see all over the place is that this person, they have a lot of spiritual blocks. They have too many. They have, I'd say at least 5 here. But what you saw when you dealt with them was a big ego. Again, they acted self-righteous. But like I said, now that you called their bluff, they're in a place of anxiety. And I feel like they are like looking at the things that they did. But the truth is that this person like has major abandonment issues. So it's almost like you leaving them triggered that. You putting your foot down, and there's almost a sense like they like you more because you did that. And I know that that sounds crazy, but it's again for you, you're like, it's a one-sided relationship. That's what you felt like. And you're like, and at one time you did want to work things out because you felt like it was a twin flame connection. But but you took a lot of time. I feel like you needed time, and this person said that they needed time, and you feel like they kept procrastinating. So the thing is, this person felt the really strong spiritual connection with you that they don't have with that karmic mate. So they wanted kind of to have their cake and eat it too, it looks like, in creating that one-sided relationship. But instead of being straight out and explaining to you how they felt, they tried to hide it. And when um that didn't work, because obviously you're avoidant, you're not talking to me, you're not listening to me. Like it said, they played a lot of games, and part of those games were they said, I just need time, I just need time. Like made it sound like a past relationship was so traumatizing for them that they needed time, though they wanted to be in a relationship. So I feel like you tried to be patient with this person and maybe even gave them a little bit too much leeway because, like I said, it says one-sided relationship. And like I said, I feel like they would tell you our story isn't over yet. Our story isn't over yet. Like, I don't want our relationship to be over. I just need time. But it was like, you were like, I just feel like you can't give me what I need. Like, that's what it really came down to after a while, because you're like, you're not giving me anything emotionally. It's like, I feel like the idea of you, they love, and there is a sense of a very strong connection. But you're on a different vibration from this person. This is someone that would be considered a fake soul twin flame, someone that's more of a karmic. And the reason why is because what we see is that they would consider it, want you to lower your vibration because their vibration is low. Why? How do we know that? They have addictions because they feel powerless. They feel powerless because they avoid. Part of the ways that they avoid is that they stonewall. So instead, they take all their time, all their attention, they're ignoring you, or they're gaslighting you with wearing masks, to make you feel as if they're, confident, or to make you perceive a certain way, like many illusions, when really what it is that you feel like this person has so much healing that they need to do that they're actually like disturbed. You're like, okay, you're like disturbed, mentally disturbed. And it's like, so they did assume because part of them, you know, uh, being living from their ego, right? It's like, you do come across disturbed. You do come across almost as if you're um, mentally, I was gonna say mentally challenged, but more like mentally, someone that needs needs help. And so, like I said, I believe that they are deluded because, again, their own ego and what they've gone through and how they play it. That's why I said, like, this person is not nice to you, wasn't in your life, didn't give you anything, breadcrumbed you, um, but then sees what you're doing and says, well, I like what you're doing. So I don't just like what you look like, but I like what you're doing. So I want to leave my situation with the karmic and be with you, but I can't leave the karmic yet, but I don't want you to go anywhere. I'm going to string you along. I'm not going to tell you anything because the karmic I just need to take care of that. It doesn't mean anything. However, it would be completely grossly imbalanced, which is how this person operates, where they get something, where they want to take something, and they don't really want to give the equal give and take reciprocity. This person is a narcissist. They look, and that term gets thrown around a lot. But when I say narcissist, this person looks at you as if you would be an extension of themselves, like what you're doing, your time, your energy, your money, your friends, your connections, your talent, whatever it is, they own that. That's how they would perceive it. Because again, it's like what they say is that they see that you're important, or they perceive that you're important, and they want to be perceived as important. So, like I said, I'm not really quite sure whether this person has feelings for you or whether it's what you do. There was someone interfering in our relationship. That's a third party. It's like this third party, again, is that karmic that knows that this person cheats all the time. So it's like, it's not that this person didn't have feelings for you. They did have feelings for you, but they are connected to somebody else. And that somebody else knows damn well that they don't want to be with them and that they're a cheater. But they also know that they miss you because a lot of time has gone by. And I believe that every now and again, this person would throw that karmic a bone. That might be they actually felt like they were in a relationship once in a while. Maybe they would go out to dinner. Maybe they would share dinner. Again, they would do things that were intimate, like maybe not sleeping together, but intimate as in sharing conversation. Like this person would act like a friend, but I don't believe that they're a friend at all. I think that these two people hate each other. It's just it's a trauma bond connection, which this person, your person that I've been calling them, it does not want to be in. It's like that they feel like they have to be in it. So it's not like they don't have feelings, but they don't do what they need to in order to heal, because no one has to stay in a relationship. I pulled away because I am overwhelmed with all the things going on in my life. And I feel like they've been trying to get away from this karmic for a long time. It's like, but they don't know how to get away. And that karmic knows every button to push, every game to play, everything. So there's also a sense of major embarrassment that your person didn't say anything to you about this karmic because they seem stupid, they seem foolish, like they don't know what to do to get away from that person. Well, I believe that that karmic has beat uh your person's self-esteem down to a little nub. And that's another reason why there's no intimacy going on there. That's another reason why your person doesn't want to be in that connection. They just can't seem to get out of that connection because that karmic has power over them. So it's more or less like they they pull away because they can't let anyone see that. That's number one. And number two, I feel like every time this person gets like some time to their own and there's a sense of that they're building up their confidence, well, that karmic made sure to beat their confidence right back out of them because the karmic doesn't want to go anywhere. So what this is almost like your person, like in order to hide that wear a persona. So this is why they did what they did. I feel terrible for hurting you because they really did have feelings. So this is again where they are and what they are going to do. I don't really feel like they're doing anything because somebody else owns their life. That's what it looks like to me. If they don't want to be in that connection, they really wanted to be with you. They just didn't get out of that connection the proper way. They played a lot of games to do it. So the feelings of good execution is horrible because this person doesn't have a good self-worth about themselves. They didn't have it before they wound up in this karmic connection, but the karmic connection has made it worse because like I said, I feel like every time this person gets a little bit of a pep in their step, the karmic makes sure to beat it right out of them. So we have to say, why would you attract a person that's connected to somebody else? And what does spirit want you to know? Again, every situation that happens, every connection has the potential to teach us. So let's see, what are you supposed to learn from this magic? These are the inner child wounds, but also your gifts. You'll find just maybe not developed as much. So magic is number one. I would consider that a gift. Two is innocence. The discipline, confusion, isolation. So I feel as if you're someone that kind of raised yourself. Like, and now whether that was you grew up in a dysfunctional family where there wasn't parents and maybe the parents worked all the time, or they were in a very codependent relationship, a toxic connection, and because they were so engrossed with their own issues, their own problems, they didn't really give you the support. So I believe that love was confusing. I believe that you're a highly sensitive person and your sensitivity was confusing. So there was a sense of not feeling supported. And I say that because of the isolation. Like children that go into isolation, they do so because that they had to figure things out by themselves. They felt safe. It's the way that they comfort themselves. It's the when they're confused. And I feel like that you were confused over your sensitivity because, like it said, magic. Your magic is your spiritual gifts. Your magic is your talents. Your magic is your essence. I feel like you grew up in an environment that you didn't really have that support. You didn't have that comfort to find yourself. Like as children, if we have support, then we go out and we try things and we find ourselves, which it's a natural unfoldment process. So I feel like you always had gifts. And I feel like, again, gifts, psychic ability, there's some sort of psychic ability, spiritual gifts. And so the child that survives thrives. And I feel like why I think that is psychic ability is because there's something happening for you now because you are in separation from this person that assumed that you were going to be innocent, right? Like it's so innocent. And that's almost like naive because again, there was a connection. It's not like there isn't a connection, but it's a karmic that you were going to lose yourself. You didn't. You called their bluff. You walked away. You put the energy into yourself. One more time, you had to go back into isolation to heal yourself because the situation was so confusing. And that's the way that you had always learned how to deal with your problems as a child. But that's where your magic was. And that was your magic where you found your magic when you were a little kid too. It's again within your imagination, within your psychic ability, within your creative ability. And like I said, whatever's happening now is, happening due to the fact that you separated from this person. And I feel like that was the discipline that you needed, that maybe as a kid you weren't disciplined because you didn't have the parents to support. So you would try things, but you wouldn't put enough time into it for it there to actually see anything manifest from it. Now I feel like as you got older, you still deal with, trauma, and as if you don't have support, you go into isolation. But again, you always go into your imagination, your talent, your whatever it is. It's like you utilized your psychic ability, your spiritual talents of knowing, of letting your spirit guide you to, again, for your own magic, your own process. So whatever, like I said, you're creating, and that is what this person is really like kind of after. They see it and they're like, and there's a sense that I feel like they can capitalize on it. So it's not like they don't have feelings, but it's almost like I don't like that whole part. Because like I said, I feel like they're so imbalanced that there's a sense of, if we can get back together again, I would own you, and whatever you're doing is what I'm doing. And they didn't put any time or effort into it, and they still have all these spiritual blocks. Why? It's almost like they're focused on like the ownership of you, how they're going to benefit from what's going on within your life and from being with you when they haven't even given anything. And that's again how I know that they're narcissists. That's how someone that's it's all about them. But like I said, you didn't do that. You put the energy into yourself. And like I said, this person is going to come back, but we see like why they would come back. And so what Spirit says is just stay in your joy. Like a child, discover joy in the simplest of life. Happiness lies in the magical moments, not in the material. Even the smallest joy is of a great source of light. So I feel like you staying in your magic is what gives you joy, and um that that's your essence too, is the fact that you're happy, because you're happy because your life is yours. So you can really enjoy every moment of it. Stay in a high vibration. That's how you know when you're not with the right person, when they take you out of this energy. And that's what the universe says to you, says the moment that this person or any person makes you feel as if you're not happy within your own life, because you are happy in your own life. This person's not happy in their life. They have ideas about you and your life where, again, that's not beneficial for you. Like I said, that's beneficial for them, and they didn't really earn it. So what Spirit is pretty much saying is you're in your joy. This person isn't in their joy. So remember that. And so, we always give people free will and choose what they want to do. However, in this story, I feel like, yeah, like I think that this person is gonna come back in and give you or say all the right things. Like, I wish I could take it back and treat you differently, but I'm afraid of commitment, and there's always secrets and deception with this person. So it's a hard no for me, regardless of whether they come back, because their motive is not good. So I'm gonna leave that there, Gemini. You let me know how you resonate with this. I'll talk to you soon.